We are back then for second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Craven Cottage. It is Fulham 0, Villa 1, and it is only 1 to Villa. As I say, we mentioned in that half-time piece there that there was a bit of controversy about that Villa goal that was disallowed. The second one, the one where Watkins tucked it into the back of the net after 2 minutes, everyone could see he was clearly offside. But after that corner kick, where it was headed on towards Alex Moreno, we couldn't really see where the offside was. Looked to us like potentially VAR may have drawn the lines wrong, and now potentially there's a little bit of controversy here inside the first 30 seconds as the ball is played back towards Emi Martinez, and the Fulham players aren't happy. They feel it might have been a back pass there. Our referee Lewis Smith doesn't give the decision. We'll just see this. I mean, it's flicked up by Douglas Luiz. I mean, is that a pass to his keeper? It looked like it could have been. Potentially.
I think it'd have been very, very harsh early on to give that, as we're just getting confirmation. Willian is the one who's left the field of play. So we saw that Alex Iwobi was entering the fray at half-time. We were waiting for confirmation as to who it was that's coming off, and it's Willian that's a big loss for Fulham, because that is not a tactical change, because he is arguably their best player. That is a fitness issue.
It must be. It must be to say, even Willian being anonymous in the first half, which he was, they had a couple of moments, but just break off from that, because Matt Cash has gone on a lovely run here into the penalty area, puts the ball across from the right-hand side, cut out just at the edge of the box, but Villa recycle it here down the right. Bailey, though, this time is checked by Iwobi. The ball cleared up towards the halfway line, but Villa have it back again. Just to run you through the team very quickly for Fulham, it is Leno in goal, a back four of Castagna, Diop, Ream and Robinson, João Paulinho and Kearney are the holding midfielders, with Decordova-Reid, Andreas Pereira and now Alex Iwobi coming on for Willian as the attacking midfield three. Rodrigo Muniz is the front man for Villa. No changes at half-time. Emi Martinez in goal, a back four of Cash, Pau Torres, Lenglet and Alex Moreno. Tielemans and Douglas Luiz are the holding midfielders, with Leon Bailey, John McGinn and Jacob Ramsey as the attacking three, playing behind Ollie Watkins. An early goal at the start of the second half at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs have equalised against Wolves. João Gomez had put Wolves in front, but now Dejan Kulusevski has equalised. Arsenal are now 3 up away at Burnley after a second for Bukayo Saka in that game, and potentially a bit of a coupon buster at St James's as now Bournemouth take the lead against Newcastle. There's a long ball played towards the edge of the penalty area. Emi Martinez comes out, makes the save, but potentially there may be a free kick here for Villa, as Muniz might have just bumped into either Cash or the goalkeeper here.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Muniz is actually the one who's made contact with anyone. In fact, he's not. It's just Matty Cash's momentum takes him into Emi Martinez, and he is absolutely flattened.
Yes, but I mean, I didn't say that it could have been worse. I suppose it could have been sort of shoulder into Martinez. It's sort of more like a bit of a body check, but the keeper is okay. And Leon Bailey just using this opportunity just to come across to the dugout there, get some quick advice there from Unai Emery. As far as the goal at St James's Park, it's that man again, Dominic Solanke. He really has been in some excellent goal-scoring form for Bournemouth. And so you've got to credit Bournemouth as well, as just as we wait for plays to restart here, that they looked like they had a really slow start under Andoni Iraola. The Bournemouth chairman was out in the media saying, look, I'll take responsibility for this if we go down. I wanted this manager, I wanted this new style of play. But you've got to say 10 or 11 games down the line from that time, they've actually improved quite a bit. Yeah,
they're a terrific team to watch. They play some really, really nice football, and they've got some real quality players, and it wouldn't surprise me, along with Ivan Toney, if Dominic Solanke is one of the highly sought after strikers in the summer, because he's scoring goals for fun really at the minute. He scores pretty much every week.
He does. He's gone from being that forward that's got a lot of skill but doesn't really get the goals to actually now getting the goals this season, and a big one there for him away at St James's. Newcastle 0, Bournemouth 1. Of course, all the games in the Premier League this afternoon are available on our service, as is the 5:30 kickoff from the Etihad, where Manchester City take on Chelsea. But back here at Craven Cottage, 49 minutes gone. It is Fulham 0, Aston Villa 1. Fulham in possession is João Paulinho to Tom Kearney just inside the Villa half, and he spots a bit of space here down the right hand side for Timothy Castagna. Just holds onto the ball, plays it back to Andreas Pereira, who wants the space to find a cross. He fires the ball across, but it's again too close to Emi Martinez. Not enough curl on that one, and it's always too close to the keeper there at the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the problem they have, is that it's so predictable what Fulham are going to do each time. They're going to get the ball out wide, they're going to try and cross it to the big Brazilian striker that's hanging around in the penalty area, but unfortunately Rodrigo Muniz is not exactly the most mobile, so he's not making too much movement, which means that these crosses are relatively easy to deal with from a Villa point of view.
They are, as that ball then rolled back by Castagna towards Bernd Leno, and that's been a problem, I think, for Fulham. They've had enough possession to cause Villa problems, but they've just not really had that spark in the final third, whereas Villa have had a few moments where they really have caused Fulham some problems, as well as the one goal they've scored. They've had a couple of other great chances, and of course that offside goal, as well as a long ball now down the left here for Fulham, and it's Robinson chasing that all the way to the edge of the area. Good challenge there from Matt Cash, putting it out for a throw. Chance here now for Fulham to try and send a few players further forward. Robinson just holding on to this one for the time being. Kearney's gone there for the short throw. Then Robinson gets the ball back and plays it into João Paulinho. He's about 30 yards out, goes square to Castagna. Over towards Iwobi now on the right-hand side. And back in towards the halfway line now here. Castagna again, looking for options. Finds Andreas Pereira. He tries an early ball this time. It's a good one as well. Picks out Iwobi. The flag doesn't go up. A shot comes in. It's stopped at the edge of the 6-yard box, and an effort there from Kearney, and eventually the flag does go up. It looked to me as though there was an offside. I think the linesman just, as they do these days, wanted that VAR confirmation that there was offside. Yeah,
absolutely. It'd be interesting to see how close this is, because it looked like a really nice move from Alex Iwobi, but it's one thing that Fulham will gain with Iwobi on the pitch ahead of Willian. He is definitely offside, yeah. But he's far more mobile in the sense that he will come centrally. He'll try and overload the penalty area. He'll look to put himself a little bit more. And he's, a player who is very, very capable of doing that. And we've seen that already. He just needed to time his run just a little bit better.
It's glimmers here for Fulham at the start of this first half. We've only really had that one move forward from Aston Villa in these first 6.5 minutes. As Pau Torres now tries a speculative ball down the left-hand side to pick out Ollie Watkins. That's easily dealt with by Diop, but they're not particularly dealt with well there by Castagna. He just puts it straight out for a throw. So Villa now have it back here on their left-hand side. And it's with their left-back here, Alex Moreno, who was very unfortunate not to have scored. Certainly both of us feel, though, he's very unfortunate not to have been given a goal in the first half. I've only seen that one sort of VAR replay of the incident, but I dare say that will be dissected later by all the pundits, because it looked to me as though, it looked to both of us as though potentially the offside was sort of triggered from the wrong spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've just seen a free kick there as well given against Fulham, which seems very harsh. But yeah, no, it looks though the lines have been drawn for Leon Bailey rather than Alex Moreno. But we'll wait to see. At the end of the day, Villa still leading. It won't really mind too much if they pick up the 3 points.
Certainly what Unai Emery will be hoping for, but his side just lose the ball in midfield. That's a nice play there from Muniz to find Andreas Pereira. Then he spots Decordova-Reid down the right hand side. There's an overlap here from Castagna, but Decordova-Reid puts the cross in himself, and it's more of the same from Fulham, with the balls in from the right and the left just being far too close to goalkeeper Emi Martinez. What about bowling it out early, but too many Fulham players still lurking around the edge of his own penalty area. So now the World Cup winning goalkeeper just took the ball down on the ground. He was being closed down there by Pereira. Goes over towards Pau Torres on the left-hand side. Villa perhaps guilty of just inviting a bit more Fulham pressure in. There's still plenty of Fulham players trying to get the ball back, and they do get it back here with a long clearance to no one in particular. João Paulinho then plays a hopeful ball over the top here for Andreas Pereira, who does well to shield that ball away from Pau Torres. Cuts back into the middle here. Paulinho back towards Pereira. Does well to get that ball off Douglas Luiz. There was a Brazilian trio there fighting for the ball, but eventually Douglas Luiz does get his points across, wins the ball back there for Villa, who just clear it up to the halfway line. Fulham get a chance to go again. Good ball there from Iwobi down the left to pick out Anthony Robinson. His cross comes in, and certainly quite a few Fulham fans behind the goal. Appealing there for a potential penalty. As the referee given a penalty, we're looking across there. I mean, Matt Cash is certainly trying to defend himself that there was no contact with the arm. We'll just see here. I mean, it's outside the box anyway. And unless the referee's given a free kick here, I mean, his arm is out, so potentially if the referee has spotted that, it may be a free kick here to Fulham. Yeah,
he has given a free kick as well, which I think is the correct decision from the referee, but it certainly wasn't obvious in the slightest. The reason why we picked up on that was because Matty Cash was pointing towards his chest, but correct decision from the referee in the end, and quite fortunate from Cash he was as far out as he was.
Yeah, he was. He was still a good few yards away from the edge of the area, but now left-footed Kearney and right-footed Pereira standing over this one for Fulham. It's only about 2 or 3 yards away from the edge of the box, and it is going to be the right foot of Pereira. It's a low cross. After all those big players in the box, it's such a flat and disappointing delivery from Andreas Pereira. No excuse for that, really, from a set piece. Fulham are able to get it back here, and Pereira tries again with a slightly more deep-angled cross, and it's nodded down by Issa Diop. But Diop was up for the initial cross, and if he'd have got more of an aggressive cross, he could have attacked him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just... Andres Pereira is a funny one because he has such quality, but I think his decision making is the thing that cost him so often. It's just never. It doesn't seem to be the right decision half the time. It's got to be more consistent in terms of what he does.
Meanwhile, there's an equaliser at St James. Anthony Gordon from the penalty spot has made it 1-1 between Newcastle and Bournemouth. So it's just to run you through very quickly. Burnley 0, Arsenal 3. In this game, it's Fulham 0, Villa 1. It's 1-1 between Newcastle and Bournemouth. Forest leading West Ham by a goal to 0, and it's 1-1 between Spurs and Wolves. In the early game, it finished Brentford 1, Liverpool 4, and still to come Man City against Chelsea at 5:30. Villa now in possession with Tielemans, as suddenly the Fulham defence have gone to sleep. It's split the defence. Watkins is in, and out of absolutely nowhere, Aston Villa have gone 2-0 up, and honestly, it is out of absolutely nowhere. It was just slow possession in midfield. Suddenly Tielemans splits the Fulham defence, who are very, very slow to react. Watkins is there, and he does what Watkins does, tucks it into the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, this is one of the worst games I've seen João Palhinha play in a Fulham shirt. He's struggling to play alongside Tom Kearney in that double pivot, and Villa are really seeing the fruits of that. The ball is so easy in behind, and Watkins, we mentioned when he scored, we mentioned before he scored, he is similar to Erling Haaland. He doesn't exactly dribble with the ball, he gets it under control, and he shoots inside the penalty area, and he scores the majority of the time. He's also doing the steward's job and getting rid of flares now off the pitch as well. But I mean, how easy is that? He's stood in between the two centre-backs.
I mean, Fulham aren't marking Watkins, and they're not playing an offside, so what are they hoping for? On that occasion, Watkins is going to take advantage, and it's actually a very emphatic finish as well.
It's a terrific finish from Ollie Watkins, but Marco Silva will be sat there thinking, what on earth are we doing? Over the course of the week, surely they've done something to prepare for Ollie Watkins. It's not like he's some unheard of striker. He's been banging goals in for years, and to completely switch off like that, it completely bewildered. I'm utterly shocked by Fulham's approach to this game defensively. I really have to say it's not been good enough.
No, it hasn't, and Marco Silva will certainly know that. He'll point to the fact that his side had a goal disallowed early on in the first half, and just after that Villa scored, but Fulham have still had enough time, had enough possession, more importantly, to actually do something about it. And then that wasted free kick a few minutes earlier from Andres Pereira becomes all the more significant. He gets a better cross into the box, he gives his players a chance to attack it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the decision making overall. I think it's just the being switched on. Look, Anthony Robinson, the throwing for the first goal, like you said, Pereira whipping the cross in. It's just all these little things, they accumulate up, and when you're playing against a side that are the quality of Villa, they're going to punish you. This is what it's like playing in the Premier League.
Certainly is. There's nowhere to hide. As say, any team can beat you on the day, but Villa are a side who have been flirting with top four, even to even the top of the league this season. So it's something that Fulham really should have been more prepared for. They're back on the attack now are the Cottagers. Across into the box from the left was initially dealt with, but it's back on the left-hand side, and now Iwobi finds Kearney. It is Robinson back towards Alex Iwobi. He's around 35 yards out from goal here on the left-hand side. Short ball into Tom Kearney. Now it's Robinson on the overlap, puts a cross in, which is charged down by Cash. He just about gets there and clears it out for a throw, rather than letting it go out for a corner.
It's another block cross, though, as well. It's like every time Fulham get the ball out wide, they're finding the legs of Cash or finding the head of Torres and not giving Rodrigo Muniz much chance. Rodrigo Muniz is not giving himself much chance to get on the end of these balls, but they have to at least try and get them in the vicinity of the Brazilian.
No, they have to, absolutely. They've got to give him half a chance to try and get near it, as Castagna puts the ball on an overlap for Pereira down the right-hand side this time. His cross, that was a better cross, but that's also well dealt with by Lenglet. And now a chance here for Villa to go on the counter. Douglas Luiz does really well to hold the ball up and then play it down the left, and it opens up here for Jacob Ramsey. He plays it to square Douglas Luiz, who's really bombed forward in the meantime, gets towards the edge of the area. He's got support from Bailey on the right-hand side. That's where the ball has gone. Plenty waiting there for Bailey. The cross comes in, but Tim Ream steps forward. A good header away there from the US international. Back into midfield here now for Douglas Luiz. He finds Jacob Ramsey, who's trying to get it onto his favoured right foot. Good work there from Diop to charge it down, but then Douglas Luiz picks out Bailey, who takes it down onto his left. Challenged there by Robinson, and eventually Fulham are able to get the ball away. Well, I say able to get the ball away from their own box. There's still some work to do as McGinn runs into Alex Iwobi, but it's out for a Fulham throw. Yeah,
really nice play once again from Aston Villa to bring that ball all forward. I thought maybe Jacob Ramsey could have been a little bit more decisive as he drove the ball forward. Nonetheless, he maybe found the right player in Douglas Luiz. It's just unfortunately that slowed the ball down by passing it square rather than forward.
Now back in play, but it was a Fulham throw at the edge of their own box. 2 passes later, Villa are back in possession. It's just not gelling for Fulham today. And with half an hour here still to play, you get the feeling that if Fulham got a goal, woke up the crowd, they'd still be in with a shout. But it's just Villa are just looking more confident as Fulham's confidence seems to be dropping even further.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, a lot of the time your confidence comes from the forward line. You're not going to get confidence from defending, and the forwards just aren't doing anything for Fulham at the minute.
Well, they aren't, and they're going to get a free kick now as well. Villa here at the edge of the box, a clumsy challenge perhaps. Further confirming what Luke said earlier about João Paulinho having a very bad game. He's just given away a bit of a nothing free kick in a very dangerous position. He's never close to getting the ball there either.
No, he's not. He doesn't need to put that challenge in because Tielemans is moving away from goal, and he's not exactly the most agile of players, Yuri Tielemans. He has a habit of being a little bit slow. So if you allow him to just turn away and not face towards goal, you're not gonna face any problems. But 2 goals have gone in quick succession as Wolves are taking the lead once again at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. João Gomez with the second goal of the game, so brace for him. And Arsenal have got a 4th at Turf Moor. It is 4-0 to Arsenal, and Leandro Trossard has himself a goal. So it's one for Odegaard.
It's more the same from Arsenal in terms of them sharing the goal scoring.
Yeah, well, it is, yeah. Well, 1 for Odegaard, 2 for Saka, and then a goal for Trossard as well. So big boost of confidence for the former Brighton man.
Certainly is, and we've got this free kick here for Aston Villa. It's 6-7 yards from the edge of the Fulham penalty area, slightly over on the right-hand side, so no surprise to see that trusty left foot of Leon Bailey standing over this one. There may still be a shot. No, it is Bailey going for goal. He tries to split the wall. He does actually split the wall, but the wall was well positioned, so it does go a long way wide in the end, and a goal kick to Fulham. But Villa won't mind this too much. They're in a very strong position this game now.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a team that relish in controlling the games. Look, when they played against the top sides, I think back to the game that they beat Arsenal, 1-0 at Villa Park. They didn't necessarily control the game, but they were comfortable in defending. That's one thing I'm always really impressed with Villa. They defend comfortably, and I think that's a really, really key thing for them. And I think that's what Unai Emery brings. He brings comfortability in defending. They're also very comfortable controlling game, as we're seeing here. Fulham are not exactly putting them under a whole load of pressure and making them defend. I can't remember the last time Emi Martinez was forced into any sort of real save. It's very, very simple for Aston Villa, and that's what they're very good at doing.
He's catching crosses today, Martinez, isn't he? Really, that's been his main job as keeper. I mean, Fulham have had 1 effort on target, and other than that, it's all been pretty slim in terms of chances in front of goal. But here come Villa again, and it's Bailey breaking into the box on the right-hand side. He tees it up here for a strike for Jacob Ramsey. I mean, credit to the Fulham defenders and midfielders trying to close down Jacob Ramsey. At least it forced him to try and go a little bit higher, and in the end he missed the goal by some way. But Welsh international Harry Wilson getting readied here for Fulham. And I mean, you can almost draw numbers out of a hat as to who he's going to replace here.
Yeah, and maybe lean towards potentially Cordova-Reid, I don't think has really touched the ball in this second half.
And it's a like for like between
them. But it could be a whole host of players. Just going back to that Jacob Ramsey chance, I think if there's one criticism that can be laid at Ramsey's door in terms of his career at the minute, it's just the lack of end product. He's very, very good on the balls. I'll break off the balls. Whipped in! It's into the back of the net!
What a goal that is from Rodrigo Muniz. I mean, it's a nothing ball down the left-hand side here for Anthony Robinson. He gets on the end of it, whips it in, and there's just that split second of indecision between goalkeeper and defender. Emi Martinez perhaps guilty of being a little bit slow because he has had such a quiet afternoon. But Rodrigo Muniz has just put Fulham back into this game out of absolute no. Let's see this again. It's a long ball played down the left here for Anthony Robinson, and as this ball is played across, it's a bouncing ball, and I think that the error there's got to be from Lenglet because he was pretty much getting it. He could have cleared it, but he leaves it for his keeper, and suddenly Muniz appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said Anthony Robinson would atone for his error. Granted, they have conceded another goal since, but he has got an assist. It's great play from Muniz, actually. I've said he doesn't move very much. He's done very well to get to the near post there and put the ball into the back of the net. Really good play from the Brazilian. Really good play from Anthony Robinson. And now Harry Wilson's coming on, not just to try and get one goal back, but to try and get them Fulham level.
Absolutely. And so when that substitution was being thought of by Marco Silva, he was bringing Wilson on to try and shake up the attack to get Fulham back into the game. But now, of course, they're only one goal away from being level. It really has warmed up nicely. But Villa are responding with their own attack straight away as Bailey plays the ball in towards Ollie Watkins. He hits the deck inside the box. Arms aloft like it's the most obvious penalty. But our referee, Lewis Smith, looks across, doesn't give anything live. Watkins has still got that really sort of shocked look on his face, whether or not he's genuinely shocked or it's just that usual footballer's reaction to say that he's not been given the decision he wanted. Confirmation that it is Cordova-Reid that goes off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, It didn't look a penalty from our angle, but it's not necessarily the best of angles to look at for that sort of challenge. And there's a chance here for Villa to come forward once again.
Oh, here they come again. Ramsey leaves the ball for Watkins, who goes for a drive from just outside the box. And it goes out for a goal kick. But Watkins isn't interested in that last effort. He's still asking the referee, what about my penalty? And we're going to see a replay, first of all, of the second chance he had. He just drops the shoulder. And even though the Fulham players were coming towards him, he still does well to get that shot away. Now, here's this penalty appeal. What are we thinking?
Oh, I mean, Diop does not get the ball. It's not shot. Well, I say it's not shoulder to shoulder. There is shoulder involved. There's also a tripping of the legs as well involved. So it's an interesting one. But VAR have clearly said to Lewis Smith they don't feel it's a penalty either.
So no penalty here for Aston Villa. 65 minutes gone, unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Fulham 1, Villa 2. Unexpectedly, this game has suddenly come to life, and it's also 2-1 to the away side at St James's as well.
Yeah, Harvey Bond's been substituted. It's actually Antoine Semenyo who's got the second goal in that game. So Anthony Gordon thought he had brought his team level. He had momentarily, and then 10 minutes later, Antoine Semenyo has the ball in the back of the net as well.
Well, that'd be a worry for Newcastle that they've, as I say, conceded twice there at home against a Bournemouth side that famously don't travel particularly well, but that could be a big win in terms of getting Bournemouth up the table and also putting further pressure on Eddie Howe and on his Newcastle side. But plenty of goals in the Premier League this afternoon, and it feels like there's going to be more to come as well. Our game likely to be the last to finish alongside the game at the City Ground because of all the injury time we had in the first half, as Villa now desperate to try and restore their lead. All of a sudden they've gone from being very comfortable and looking to try and put more goals on the board to suddenly watching out for not conceding an unexpected equaliser.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Leon Bailey looking to bring the ball forward here. I mean, because Fulham are trying to get themselves level in this game, they are also committing a number of men forward, and that's allowing the space in behind for Villa. We've seen not once but twice that Villa are quite comfortable on the counter-attack, since Fulham have scored that goal.
Got out for a throw here to Fulham down the left-hand side. Bailey just couldn't quite control it. Kearney under a bit of pressure there from Tielemans, going back towards Tim Ream, who plays a long ball this time up towards Fulham's goal scorer Muniz. He gets robbed of the ball, and now Cash down the right-hand side leaves it here for Bailey. Too much traffic there for Bailey to try and navigate round, so he goes back towards the halfway line here for Lenglet. He thought about a long ball, but Fulham, as they like to do here against Villa, have got quite a high line here, so they're going to try and make it as difficult as possible for Villa to get anywhere near their box. It's now back with Lenglet, over to Pau Torres. He's had the option of trying to pick out the run of Alex Moreno, but he's overhit that ball. It almost ends up like a good ball to Watkins, but just about getting there first was Castagna, I should say, back towards his goalkeeper Leno. Now Kearney through the middle here, being closed down. His fellow Scotland international there, McGinn. He goes over towards João Paulinho, to Castagna. Side now to Issa Diop, slightly more slow and measured possession here from Fulham. Kearney now trying a long ball over the top, but it would have been a good ball had it not been for the excellent positioning there of Lenglet. But there's good work from Cash, I should say, but then great work there from Iwobi to try and win that ball back. And all of a sudden, Villa looking a little bit stranded at the back there for a second. Yeah,
stranded and stretched as well. I mentioned that they're normally quite comfortable in defending, but Matty Cash is really looking exhausted. He has to do an awful lot of work down that right-hand side.
Corner kick then to Fulham down the left-hand side. The crosses into the box this afternoon haven't been particularly good from Marco Silva's side, but now with this goal to make up, they've got a real chance. Again, the cross easily dealt with there by Ollie Watkins at the near post. Second ball potentially here for Iwobi, playing it down the right-hand side, a cross coming in, and Wilson here at the back post, playing in a cross. Oh, it just needed another touch from a Fulham player, can't quite find one, and then it's cleared eventually up towards the halfway line.
Yeah, once again, really nice play from Fulham, just trying to get that ball into the box. Straight away, we've seen the impact that the substitutions have made in Iwobi and Wilson, who just are showing better decision-making and better quality.
But here comes Wilson's ball in from the left-hand side, flicked up in the air. Rodrigo Muniz arms it off like it's the most obvious corner kick decision, but the referee, Lewis Smith, disagrees. It's just been given as a goal kick to Aston Villa. So we are at the three-quarter mark in the game. 69 minutes gone. It is Fulham 1, Aston Villa 2, and it will be Luke to take us through to full-time.
Thank you very much. As Marco Silva just having a word with the fourth official, say having a word like he's having a discussion. It seems pretty one-way with Marco Silva going on and on and on at the fourth official, but nonetheless he's not going to change the decision. A goal kick has been given, and it is Emi Martinez to take it. It'll just go short to Clement Lenglet. Now Matty Cash on the right-hand side plays it down the line looking for Yuri Tielemans, who gives the ball away. And I think it'll be a throw-in for Fulham on the left-hand side. Well, at least I expected it to be. In fact, it isn't. It's a Villa throw-in on the Villa right. So, Matty Cash with the ball in hands. About 20 minutes plus injury time left to play in this game. Left for Fulham to try and find themselves an equaliser in this game. And it's hard to tell whether the equaliser is likely or not, because they come in fits and spurts to Fulham at the minute.
They are. There's not been. I mean, there's a challenge there in midfield, and Alex Moreno is looking very surprised. The Fulham players are saying there should be a card. The Villa players saying there was nothing wrong with that. But they haven't been able to get that sort of run of attacking possession that Marco Silva would like. But the fact that they have got this goal has just put that little bit of extra doubt into this Villa side. And we'll see here as Wilson's trying to get away from Moreno. I mean, they're saying there's potentially an elbow across there from Moreno on the Welshman. There's certainly no elbow in the face there, but there's a bit of a body check, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it rains, it pours for West Ham. They're in terrible form. They're losing by 1-0 against Nottingham Forest. They've also had a man sent off. Calvin Phillips has been sent off for a second yellow card in that game. So very, very disappointing start to his West Ham career.
But it's a second yellow card 3 minutes after his first.
Yeah,
so it's
really poor start for Calvin Phillips at West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going well for him, and the fact that sort of he's almost like a guaranteed pick for England puts even more pressure on him when he does play. But a free kick to Fulham now from Pereira.
Pereira towards the back post where Wilson's waiting, whips it towards the back post once again from his side, the left-hand side, and it's slightly overhit and out for a goal kick. Really nice move though from Fulham.
Lovely move from Fulham. I just wonder, I mean, is Wilson trying to pick out a team that was actually going for a very audacious strike there? I mean, it's
hard to tell.
It's not too far away from either, really, is it? It's nearly a good cross and it's nearly a good shot. But in the end, it's very difficult to control such a cross from a long way away and to cushion that on the volley. But it wasn't far away at all.
No, certainly not, as they have the ball once again from the goal kick to Fulham as Tim Ream moves it to Iwobi. He dinks the ball over the top looking for Pereira. Dealt with well, though, by Alex Moreno. And now a chance for Jacob Ramsey to bring the ball forward. Tielemans now on the right-hand side, further wide to Leon Bailey. Squared up by Anthony Robinson. Iwobi's out there to help him as well. Tries to get the ball in, blocked well by Robinson. Will fall to Matty Cash. Inside to John McGinn. Lovely turn. Though tackled well by Alex Iwobi. Then Kearney loses out. He wants a free kick. Nothing's been given. Tielemans now moves onto the left-hand side for Pau Torres. And now Ramsey, Louise, and I can sense the frustration building in this Fulham side. They're not having free kicks given for them, and they're having to chase the ball for a fair bit of time when Villa keep it.
They are, and I think this is the problem for Villa is for Fulham is that Villa have still got the advantage in terms of possession. When the ball just gets down in midfield, Villa are the ones still more confident controlling it, and it makes it just that more difficult for Fulham to really try and get a stranglehold of the game.
Moreno shifts it inside to Jacob Ramsey. Douglas Luiz now on the ball, goes square to Matty Cash. He looks to try and bring it forward and then opts against it. It's been a fifth goal at Turf Moor, and it's Kai Havertz who's picked himself up a goal in that game. So it's 5-0 to Arsenal, and Havertz has his goal as well. So a good day out for Arsenal all round. As Clement Lenglet has it now for Aston Villa, so looking to try and hold on to this 2-1 lead at Craven Cottage with 73 minutes on the clock. Independent off-tube studio commentary as Pau Torres moves the ball forward. Not a bad idea looking for Jacob Ramsey, but he can't keep hold of it. And then a free kick is given against Alex Moreno, and I'd be very surprised to not see a yellow card, and indeed we do see it. So second Villa player to be in the book so far in this game, second player overall to be in the book of this game, and that was a rather cynical one there from Alex Moreno.
It was, yeah. I mean, he does have that in his game, Alex Moreno. I think when you're a left-back playing against some of these pacey wingers, you've got to have a little bit of something about you. I mean, the reason he's got booked there, it wasn't a particularly aggressive foul, but there's just no attempt to play the ball whatsoever. All he wants to do is trying to get that get Wilson off the ball, and he did so after committing that foul. So it's an easy decision there for the referee.
Long ball sent forward from Andreas Pereira, but that is straight into the hands of Emi Martinez, and we've seen far too many of those. I mean, Rodrigo Muniz has put his thumbs up to that. I mean, fair play to him. I would not have been as keen with that delivery in as we're seeing Marco Silva have words with Adama Traora. I mean, you spoke about pacey wingers. I would never really attribute pace with Harry Wilson. I certainly would with Adama Traora, and we are going to see a free kick here as Leon Bailey left an elbow on Anthony Robinson there. I mean, we're just going to wait to see a replay and see the final decision from the referee. This did not look a nice one. Yeah, a bit in the chin.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's one of those where he can argue that he's trying to jostle for position. He's not sort of swung the elbow too much, but he's also not done too much to avoid the contact. I think he also wanted to make a bit of contact as Adama Traora. Very strong, very fast player, but often lacking that little bit of end product, and he's on to replace Andreas Pereira.
Yeah, so I think what it'll end up being will be the Iwobi or Wilson will take a central position. Adama Traora will move out wide, as he so often does. We're also going to see Calvin Bassey come on, who returns from the African Cup of Nations. Tim Ream leaves the field of play, of course. Calvin Bassey alongside Alex Iwobi finished second in the African Cup of Nations, losing 2-1 to the Ivory Coast in the final. But still a really impressive tournament from the both of them. And I'm sure Fulham will be glad to have them both back. I mean, I'm always impressed watching Calvin Bassey. Had a bit of a rough time at Ajax, but he still impressed me there in the Champions League in the Netherlands, and I thought he was excellent at Rangers. He's still just trying to play himself back to the top-end quality that we know he has.
No, absolutely. He's a ball-playing centre-back, which I think most centre-backs have to be these days, but he is confident on the ball. He's got all the physical attributes, and at the same time, as you say, he's experienced a few different leagues, and of course all the African nations football that he's played, so he is an experienced player for someone who's not particularly old yet in terms of his footballing career. Here come Fulham now down the right with the ball, trying to pick out the run of Traora, but it's out for a corner. Yeah,
again, Adama Traora causing issues straight away. Look, he's a player who we know does not have the most amazing end product. He's not exactly the most clinical, the best passer, but if there's one thing he's going to do is he's going to scare a fullback. And Alex Moreno is going to have a tough rest of the afternoon trying to deal with him, because
I might suggest that Moreno gets substitute with that yellow card that he's got, because he's going to have problems here trying to stop Traora. If he loses the ball and he instinctively grabs him, then it could be problems. But here comes the ball from Wilson.
Ball whipped in, but it's not a great delivery from the Welsh international, cleared away at the near post. They have got Luca Digne on the bench of Aston Villa if they do feel the need to change things up at left back. But as things stand, they remain the same, and they remain ahead by 2-1 as Iwobi on the press from Matty Cash, forced all the way back to Bernd Leno in goal. So that's how quickly things can change from a corner to effectively a goal kick, as Leno sends the ball long looking for Muniz, dealt with well by Longley. Now a chance for Ramsey to bring it forward, who checks back and goes back to Clement Lenglet in the Aston Villa defence. Now Douglas Luiz goes inside to Pau Torres. Inside the centre circle now for Tielemans. Loses out though. Kearney has the ball. Wilson under pressure from Tielemans. Quick 1-2 between him and his captain Kearney. Spreads the play onto the right hand side wonderfully to Adama Traore. 1-on-1 with Alex Moreno. Tries to whip the ball in. It's not a brilliant one, but it'll still find Anthony Robinson, who can't keep the ball in, and will be out for a goal kick. And that's exactly what I mean about Adama Traore's end product. He had an opportunity there to get the ball in. Not a good cross at all.
No, it's not. I mean, as I say, there was that sort of angle. There's no way any teammate can attack it because it's already far too close to the goalkeeper. And as I say, Wilson tried his best, but the ball was already going out of play. Yeah,
it was indeed. As Martinez goes short to Pau Torres from the goal kick. He then sends the ball long down the line looking for Ollie Watkins. He's done really well, in fact, to find Jacob Ramsey. Now inside to Tielemans. Nice run from Leon Bailey. Good first touch, keeper under control. Then falls over, but the ball still finds its way to Jacob Ramsey. Tielemans looking back towards Ramsey. Tackled well by Polina. He's struggled today as Yuri Tielemans, a player who's trying to get himself back into the starting line. He really has struggled.
He has, but we'll break off from that because here come Fulham now with a chance for Wilson down the left.
Harry Wilson finds Alex Iwobi in behind. Good save at the near post from Emi Martinez. Really good goalkeeping from him. Villa can't get it cleared though, and it's Wilson with the goal, and the former Liverpool man strikes the ball wide of the post.
Yeah, it's wide from Wilson in the end. I mean, their first cross was a decent one. When that got cleared, there weren't really too many options to pass it, so he goes for goal, and it's into the it's away from that far post. But that point you made about Yuri Tielemans, I mean, he's got the chance today to really get stake and claim, because he's certainly got all the attributes for being a regular starter for Villa, but he's just not really been as involved and not been as good as we would have liked to have seen.
No, certainly not. Play continues here for Villa as they send the ball long over the top looking for Watkins. It's Clement Lenglet who sent it long. Dealt with well once again by Issa Diop, who's been very, very active in this game. And as you mentioned, Luca Digne looks as though he's ready to come on. He said it might be worth bringing off Alex Moreno just to try and deal with Adama Traora, and it looks as though that's what's going to happen, as it is going to be Luca Digne who's going to come on. Moussa Diaby as well. Villa's record signing, stripped on, ready to come onto the field of play. As play will continue though, as it's Tielemans now inside the middle of the park, finds Watkins. Tielemans once again flicked to Douglas Luiz, and now a chance for the Brazilian to bring it forward. That looks as though it was offside there for Leon Bailey. Chops back on his right foot, lays it off to Tielemans. That is a firm challenge inside the penalty area, and now the flag does go up. And Paulinho, while he has struggled in this game, has certainly tracked the run well, even though he was offside.
Yeah, it was well tracked, as you say. The flag does go up just to sort of stop any potential appeals there, because it was a very industrious challenge there on Yuri Tielemans. We'll see from this replay as the ball finds, but we couldn't see the replay because now they're showing us the halfway line where Villa are making a double change.
They are indeed. It's Digne and Diaby, like I mentioned. It's actually Leon Bailey who's going to leave the field of play. He had a very, very good first half. Second half he's been a little bit anonymous, but as have a lot of the Villa forwards, because it's mostly been in their half in terms of defending, and as we thought as well, Alex Moreno, who's on the yellow card, is also being subbed off for Luca Digne.
Makes sense that with Moreno, he's up against some pace now towards the end of this game. Doesn't want to get caught out and lead Villa down to 10 men.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think as well the added pace of Diaby on the counter-attack can be really, really helpful. But Leon Bailey, good day's work for him.
Yes, good game from Leon Bailey. As I say, he was out of the side for a few games. Back in the last few, just as Villa's form has been slightly tailing off, but Bailey is a very, very able player, and I know most wingers these days insist on playing on the opposite wing to what their foot is. Obviously, he's a left footer playing on the right, but he does that role very well. Yeah,
he does indeed. He's had a huge impact, not only in this game, but for Villa all season. That's why he has been rewarded with a long-term contract extension. As Fulham looking to try to bring the ball forward, give the ball away, and then so do Villa. As I believe, I thought it was a free kick given there for Douglas Luiz, but play continues as Tielemans is harried by Calvin Bassey, and a free kick has been given, and Tom Kearney has ended up on the floor. I mean, talk about evenly matched, 12 attempts each for both sides, 3 on target. The chances created have not been terrific in this game, but they have, both sides have been relatively evenly matched.
They have. I think that will be I mean, the stat that they've had the same number of shots on target, the same number of shots overall is an interesting one, because you just felt, barring the last sort of 15 minutes or so, since Fulham got the goal back into this game, you always felt as though Villa really were in comfortable control, but stats-wise, it's actually been a fairly even game. Yeah, absolutely is. There's a free kick given here for the challenge on João Palhinha from Jacob Ramsey, so a chance for Fulham to retain possession. Once again, we played 82 minutes in this game, and time is slightly ticking away here for the Cottages in terms of trying to get themselves back level. It almost feels like the energy that the substitutes brought on is very quickly waned, as Tom Kenny's kicked that ball straight out of play for a throw-in, and he's another one who I think has struggled a fair bit today. Tom Kenny playing in that double pivot alongside João Palhinha. It's not really where he wants to be. No, but it's almost like the only position he's going to get in, because of the 3 midfield positions ahead of him, he probably is just not quite, certainly as far as Marco Silva's concerned, maybe not quite to the attack mind that he would like to see there. But certainly Kearney has looked a little bit out of place at times, as here come Villa. Yeah, here come Villa with Luca Digne on the left-hand side. Great challenge from Paulinho. He's really improved in this last 10 or 15 minutes or so. And now a chance here for Alex Iwobi. He's bursting forward on the right-hand side. Plays the ball in towards Muniz. Brilliant defending from Clement Lenglet, and cleared away in the end by Pau Torres. And Fulham have somehow given away a throw-in on the right-hand side. It's clumsy there from João Paulinho. He wanted to make sure that Douglas Luiz didn't get on the ball, so he sort of stood on the line to stop Douglas Luiz getting it. And in doing that, he actually touched the ball last, and has gone out for a throw to Villa as a bit of a gift. But that was a good move again from Fulham, and the ball into the box needed dealing with, and Lenglet certainly did that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the interesting thing now, I think, is worth mentioning, is Adama Traora was nowhere really to be seen. It was Iwobi bursting down the right-hand side. You want the Spaniard to be up there with you as a support and to drive into the box. As Kearney now has the ball, looking for some options. Had the run of Wilson on the left-hand side, chooses to use the Welsh international. Now back to Robinson. He'll go centrally then to Calvin Bassey. Square just outside the centre circle to João Palhinha. Ball dinked over the top, looking
for, I believe it was Rodrigo Muniz. In fact, it was Timothy Castagna, but it was slightly overhit and out for a goal kick. Scores in the other games are as follow. Burnley currently trail Arsenal by 5 goals to 0 at Turf Moor. Newcastle trailing Bournemouth by 2 goals to 1 at St James's Park. Forest are currently beating 10-man West Ham by 1 goal to 0, and Wolves are leading Tottenham by 2 goals to 1 in the 88th minute. We are the furthest back of all the 3 o'clock games. Currently stands 2 goals to 1 for Aston Villa at Craven Cottage. Independent off-tube studio commentary, and they are trying to batter down the door of Fulham, but they've not really been too successful at reaching the door in the first place, never mind battering on it.
No, that has been the problem. They've not had enough possession in the final third. There's a great ball over the top here for Diaby to chase, but credit to Robinson, just has enough on him there to make sure that he's able to win the ball. As the referee spotted a foul on the halfway before Villa got the ball back.
There was a very, very firm challenge from João Palhinha. I'll be very surprised if the Portuguese has not picked up a yellow card, and indeed he has. I mean, if we'll see a replay of this, it was a firm and a late one as McGinn played that ball. He jumps in. It's not a nice one.
It's not a nice one. I tell you what, if he makes more contact with the studs on McGinn, he could have looked at getting a straight red, but with the number of yellow cards Palhinha's picked up, he's now actually going to miss the next 2 games for Fulham. So this is potentially going to cause real problems, as also that red card for Calvin Phillips at the City ground might cause West Ham some problems. We're getting word of a potential second goal for Forest, so that's going to compound the Manchester City loanees situation even more.
A huge number of yellow cards for João Palhinha this season. I find it crazy how, yes, he's a holding midfielder, but he picks up so many yellow cards. I mean, potentially next season that foul is seen as a blue card, which we'll wait to see if that comes to fruition. But if it was to be the case, then it would almost certainly rule Fulham out getting a goal in this game. But that's not to worry about, because there are no blue cards. That won't come into effect until potentially next season if it does come into effect.
I do hope it doesn't. I mean, as I say, it's such a bad idea. So many people have said it's just going to kill the game, because the team down to 10 men with the sin bin are just going to kill the game and try and waste as much time until the 10 minutes are up anyway. Yeah,
absolutely. As John McGinn looks to put a challenge on Calvin Bassey, but the Nigerian international stood firm and took the ball off the Scotsman. As there's now a chance for the Cottages to bring the ball forward with Adama Traora. Shows great strength and speed, driving towards the penalty area, dinks the ball towards the back post. Can either Wilson or Robinson keep it in? Wilson can do. Finds Anthony Robinson, just lays it off to Kearney, then back to Harry Wilson, trying to find options in the box. Instead, he'll just go short to Kearney. Now Robinson on his left foot swings the ball in, easily dealt with by Douglas Luiz, and I get the feeling we're going to see an awful lot of that for the rest of this game.
Yes, as much as Fulham can get that ball as close to that Villa penalty, they're going to try to get that Villa defence working. They've not done it enough really since they've clawed that goal back to make it 2-1. But here comes Robinson now with a long throw.
Ball sent in from Robinson, easily dealt with though by Villa. Robinson whips the ball back in. It falls to Palhinha on the edge of the penalty area, blocked by Douglas Luiz. It's going to fall to Muniz, who goes for goal, and I think it's taken a deflection. That's where all the pace went from, but for a moment there it looked like it was going towards the far post, and I think the referee is given a goal kick here, and that seems a really strange decision.
It does. I mean, you could just see by the flight of the ball that it certainly seemed to change direction enough. I think Has the referee had his mind changed by the linesman? Let's have a look here, because as Palhinha goes for goal, it deflects into the path of Muniz. I think
that's got to be a corner,
that's
surely.
Matt Cash, surely. So that should be. See from this reverse angle, yeah, of course, it's come off the back of his, the bottom of his calf there. So that's clearly gone out for a corner kick to Fulham, but Villa get away with one there.
That is crazy to me, and somebody has picked up a yellow card here, and I'm not quite sure who it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Rodrigo Muniz who's argued about it. Either way, João Palhinha's left the field of play, and Sasha Lukic is going to come on in replacement, whether that's to avoid Palhinha getting a red card or to try and add a bit more attacking threat. I'm not quite sure, but either way.
I think it's more worrying about the yellow card, because on paper, you'd say João Palhinha is more attack-minded than Sasa Lukic is. He's more your sort of classic central defensive midfielder. He can obviously range forward. He has got certainly some attacking abilities around him, but he's there more to sort of be the holding midfielder, really. So the fact that they would change him, would bring him on in the last few minutes for João Palhinha is an interesting change there from Marco Silva, as Kearney was moving the ball for Fulham down the left, but Villa now have it back, and that's a strong challenge there on Douglas Luiz, and that should be a booking as well for Sasa Lukic, who's only been on the field a few seconds.
And he has picked up a yellow card as well. So it's Castagna who got yellow carded for appealing for the corner, and then Sasa Lukic has been yellow carded inside. Would we reckon 20 seconds, 30 seconds?
It must be that, yeah. It's not going to beat Vinnie Jones's record of getting booked, I think, 7 seconds after a game kicked off, but it's still a very quick booking there for Sasa Lukic.
Absolutely. A very late goal has been scored at St James's Park inside the 10 minutes of added on time in that game. Matt Ritchie, the forgotten man at St James's Park, has equalised against his former side as well, let's not forget, in the 92nd minute. And there's still another 7 minutes for them to find themselves a winner in that game, Newcastle. So a huge goal and a huge moment for Matt Ritchie in that game. Fulham are still trying to battle away and find themselves an equaliser in this game as well, as they have the ball here with Iwobi. Moves on to the right hand side for the former Leicester man, Timothy Castagna. Back to Bernd Leno. He hoofs the ball long, high up into the London sky, trying to get towards Adama Traore. They've won the ball back though, Fulham. It's Muniz. He finds it through. A Traore's instant goal, and what a save by Martinez. He should have done better, Traore, but great stop from the Argentinian. That was the chance of the fourth official. Holds up the board for 5 minutes. What an opportunity as the ball is still in play here. It's Wilson inside the penalty area, lays it off. Iwobi looking to try and create a chance, and Villa will just about get it cleared through John McGinn. What an opportunity.
Fantastic. I mean, it's Traore burst into the box at full pace. Could he have done a little bit more to lift it past the keeper? Or have we just got to say it's credit to Martinez for rushing out as quickly as he did? Yeah,
very similar to the chance earlier on in the game for Yuri Tielemans. We're going to see a replay. What a pass that is to Rodrigo Muniz. I think he's got to score. I think he's got to do better. Martinez makes himself big, don't get me wrong, but he's gone for the near post option there. He's just got to lift it over.
There's no effort to dummy the keeper. There's no effort to try and find an angle. He's just sort of hit it straight down, hoping to try and dummy the keeper. As we were getting replays of that, there was actually a little bit of a kerfuffle on the halfway line here as Diaby was taken down. And a couple of the Villa bench disapproving of this. A couple of the Fulham bench trying to argue their case here as well. Moussa Diaby still getting up a little bit gingerly here. Yeah,
I'm not really quite sure what the problem is here. It was Robinson put a tackle in, and then I think a few choice words were said through on both benches as Marco Silva really wasn't happy. I mean, to be honest with you, I very rarely do see Marco Silva happy, to be honest. I would like to know what does make Marco Silva happy in the world of football. He's still going on, is Marco Silva. I don't think he realises he's wasting more and more time for his side to try and get an equaliser in this game, as somebody's had a boot to the face here. I believe it's John McGinn, who's been clattered into by Alex Iwobi. I mean, wait... Looks as though it's John McGinn. It didn't look a nice one.
Needs a second to pick himself up here, McGinn.
It's Digne actually and Adama Traore, and
clumsy one, that one from Traore. I mean, he's going for the ball, but he gets quite a lot of the man there as well.
And he's also going to pick himself up a yellow card. The yellow cards are flying out in this game. This seems to happen every single time Fulham are trailing. They get themselves into a bit flustered, trying to get themselves back into the game, and everyone seems to put themselves up a yellow card. Adama Traore looks absolutely bewildered, but if you're Luca Digne, the last person you want flying into you like that, it probably is Adama Traore.
No, absolutely. He's, as I say, once he starts, it's very difficult to stop him. He's a very strong and very fast player. But for all of that, he's never really had the stats to back it up in terms of goals and assists. And so getting a chance here at Fulham today, and making himself a bit of a nuisance at times, as Villa are going to make a change here later on with Yuri Tielemans going off for the final couple of minutes of injury time.
Yeah, Yuri Tielemans is going to leave the field of play, and it is going to be Ireg Bunen who's going to come on in replacement for the Belgian international, who gets a start, trying to make an impact on this game. He's not been brilliant, has he?
No, he hasn't. We've not quite seen as much of him as we would have liked. When he's been on the ball, he's not been as confident, which is what you always remember from Tielemans at his best at Leicester. He just seemed to look, no matter what was happening around him, he never seemed to look that flustered, but he has done today. Yeah, he has done, and he had that opportunity to potentially kill this game off earlier on. Wasn't able to find the back of the net, and Leno pulled off a good save as McGinn battling away on the right-hand side. The ball has stayed in. Has it stayed in? I'm not quite sure. Calvin Bassey not happy with the linesman, neither is Harry Wilson. They're all arguing with the linesman, as is Tom Kearney. Want to be careful, they're going to end up picking themselves up a yellow card. Yep, somebody else is getting yellow carded as well. I mean, they've been warned at the start of the season, Premier League players, this is what's going to happen, and it's just daft, isn't it? It is. I mean, it's players just testing the referee's patience, just seeing if he's always going to give the same decision. Can they potentially get away with it, and at the same time put off an opposition player, as Kenny trying to win the ball back there for the home side, but it's out for another throw to Aston Villa.
Callum Hudson-Odoi has killed the game off at the City Ground as they currently lead by 2-0 against West Ham, thanks to an earlier goal from Taiwo Awoniyi. We're into the final minutes of added on time in this game, and Fulham well and truly running out of time to get themselves a point in this game. Good header from Lukic, finds Adama Traore. Nice feet to try and get away from Iregbunam. And then they're trying to bring it forward here, Villa, with John McGinn, who's fouled by Adama Traore, and that'll be another free kick to Aston Villa. Adama Traore continuing to mouth off at John McGinn, and he can have no complaints. This is what frustrates me so much with Fulham. Yes, the decision making in the first half was poor, but then just crack on and get on with the game. They're causing so many problems for themselves.
They are. It's almost like he's getting his frustration out to the referee is more important. It's not more important. What's important is to get every second of additional time that you can, because it's the most obvious foul as well.
Yeah, it is a really obvious foul. It's a shoulder in the back. The game is finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and a huge result for Aston Villa in that game, as Wolves have beaten Ange Postecoglou's side by 2-1. It's finished at Turf Moor as well. Arsenal have battered Burnley by 5-0. We are into the... we're past the allocated 5 minutes of added on time. I can see us maybe having another minute in this game. No, that is time. The referee blows a whistle for full time, and Aston Villa have held on to their lead. They finish at Craven Cottage. It finishes Fulham 1, Aston Villa 2.